Hi, I'd like to tell you a story. It's one that broke my heart and has a lot to do with this book. You know, when I write a book, I like to give it my heart and soul. It was different with this one. I gave, yes, but it took as well. Sucked the life out of me somehow, reduced me to tears, left me in a strange, contradictory way, both hollow and fulfilled. When I had finished, I knew deep down inside it was the best book I had ever written. I was excited, elated, moved. But that's not what broke my heart. Full of anticipation, I sent the book to my agent. He loved it. He prepared his submission list and sent it to all the top publishers in Britain. It was winter. I spent those waiting weeks working in the garden, clearing away the dead growth. Then one by one the publishers responded. These were quotes that would have graced the cover of any bestseller. The trouble is, they were all rejections. Every single one of them rejected it. I sank into a deep depression. I knew it was the best thing I had ever written, but nobody wanted to publish it. My New York agent had issues with the structure and wanted me to rewrite. When I refused, she wouldn't even show it to publishers in the US. Frustrated, heartbroken, defeated, I filed it away both physically and mentally and moved on to other things. Until about 2 years ago. In a casual conversation with my French publisher at a book fair, I happened to mention the best book I'd ever written that nobody wanted to publish. She said, "Send it to me." So I did. 6 weeks later, she phoned me and said, "I adore this book. I want to buy world rights." Well, I was confounded. It's unheard of for a French publisher to buy world rights in a book written in English. But of course I said yes. Nearly bit her hand off. Someone, at last, had seen the potential in my child. Well, the book went straight into translation and came out in France just over a year ago, to the best reviews of my career. Then on the eve of the big international book fair at Frankfurt, where all the major book deals are done, the rights lady at the French publishing house called me. She thought she should read the book before taking it to Frankfurt. She said, "I started it last night and couldn't put it down until I'd finished at 5 o'clock this morning." And she made me this promise. Frankfurt is going to be the week of the Blackhouse. You cannot imagine how thrilled I was to hear that. And true to her word, it was. The top publisher in Italy bought it after reading it overnight. 6 German publishers got into a bidding war over it. The Spanish bought it. The Greeks. The Russians. Then in the strangest twist of fate, it was bought by the Brits. Not any of those publishers who had turned it down, but a dynamic young publishing house which had just taken Stig Larsson's Millennium Trilogy to the top of every bestsellers list in the world. Quercus, Quercus, Quercus. My new editor at Quercus sent me an email in which he described the book as brilliant and beautiful. But all these publishers who had bought the book still weren't satisfied. They wanted more. And in the end, I was persuaded to turn it into a trilogy. So here it is at last. The Blackhouse. And now I have another story to tell you. Finally, the story of the Blackhouse itself. I hope it moves you the way it has moved me.